We're there now.
We're live.
I just went to turn it off, and now it's on.
All right, so we're live?
We're live.
Okay.
It's working now. Showing
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the YouTube channel here. This is the Ask Junior portion of the show. And Mike Davis, my co-host, is here with me. You guys have been sending in some great questions to at Xfinity Racing on Twitter, and we really appreciate all those every single week. And appreciate you guys supporting our YouTube channel and everything else we do here at Dirty Mo Media. So Leah's got your questions ready, so let's go.
Yeah, about 15 minutes ago, Dale Jr., you had some news break on Twitter. So you want to tell us what race you're running this year?
I'm running at Richmond for Unilever. Unilever's been a big partner of ours for many years with Hellman's and Ragu and Good Humor, and I mean the list goes on and on. Breyers, they have so many brands underneath that Unilever umbrella that have been a part of our family here at Junior Motorsports. So they have a new campaign, United for America, to honor all the victims from 9/11. The race is on September 11th, so we're going to have a great, cool paint scheme that me and Ryan Williams upstairs, our designer, had a big part of putting together and creating. So I like to run the short tracks, and there's only a couple to choose from. So I want to eventually maybe run Martinsville, and that's still a plan for me going forward. But this year we're going to Richmond, and it's the second Richmond event, which is also a NBC event. So I'll be working as a broadcaster on the Cup race, and we've done this before. I think a couple years back.
Dang near won it.
Well,
yes.
No, we didn't.
Yes, you did.
We finished fifth or something.
Led the most laps.
Yeah,
I remember.
We didn't have it at the end, but when I went to go, when I mashed the gas at the on the last stage or near that last restart, our car didn't go like the rest of them, but it had some long run speed. And that's for sure. Hopefully, it's a good long run race because I think that's where my strongest suit will be. But I'm looking forward to get back in the car and know that track really well, really comfortable. I'm not as nervous about this one as I would be maybe Darlington or Homestead. Those are bigger tracks, and trying to start without any practice, no laps.
Oh, that's right. This will be the first time doing that.
Firing off after not being in a car for over a year, so should be pretty fun.
Our next question coming from Dallas Gibson. What would be your perfect all-star race format and track? A lot of talk about the all-star race this past week.
Yeah, I don't know if there is a perfect scenario, but in my opinion, I don't know if there's a perfect scenario or a perfect track and a perfect format, but we had a really great start to the All-Star race when it came about in 1985. The first one in Atlanta wasn't very exciting at all. If you go back and watch it, that was the time when Bill Elliott's car was so dominant, and he just drove away, and there wasn't much of a race. So they brought it to Charlotte immediately, and they had a great event. Darrell Waltrip won the race. Harry Gant was really close in second place, and Darrell's motor blew going across the finish line, and everybody wondered whether he had blown the motor on purpose. Was it was it a big engine, and was he trying to destroy the evidence, right? Of
course he was.
Yeah. And so then you have Dad in 1987 with Bill Elliott, an amazing event. Rusty spinning Darrell Waltrip, I believe, in 89 or 90.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it was 91. I can't remember. But it was, then you had Davey Allison crashing across the finish line with Kyle Petty.
92.
Yeah, 92.
Yeah.
Dad wrecking in turn 3 prior to that in the same race. Dad and Darrell Waltrip going into the wall off turn 4.
Yeah.
Michael Waltrip winning is the Winston All-Star race that year. My own win. Something that I think, those are all great events. Now, there were a couple in between those that I mentioned that weren't quite as exciting. but still had good energy. And there was a common thread really amongst all of those, and that was the format. It was, they would change the first segment or the second segment, but it was always this 10-lap shootout, right? And where the caution laps didn't count. And there wasn't inverting or anything like that. There was just, show up, race. We're going to run, 30 laps, 15 laps, 10 laps, or 30 laps, 10, whatever it's going to be. But, I would go to Charlotte and probably go back to the old format and run it just like that. And just do it. And, Bristol was okay. Everybody always wanted us to go to Bristol for so many years. Just go to Bristol.
I was one of them. I still am.
We went to Bristol, and it wasn't this.
Yeah, but I still liked it.
It wasn't like this amazing discovery.
But for some of us, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Just being in Bristol is event enough. Like it's Bristol's Bristol.
Bristol's Bristol.
You just got to appreciate it for what it is. Don't try to expect too much.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about it being in Charlotte all those years and keeping that original format, and just that's what it is. Let this race be what it is, and not try to create it and bend it into something, twist it into something else.
The best format is one that sticks for 2 years in a row and not changes every year. Just stick with one and let us learn to love it.
Yeah. I read a little bit about the format for the current one coming up in Texas, and I'm lost. Mm-hmm. No clue. I can't understand how they expect anybody to pay attention to all of that.
No, I didn't sign up for homework.
No, it's awful. But next question.
Next question from Ryan Cutshaw. What did you end up doing with your final Cup car?
Say again.
What did you? Yeah,
it's at the house. I just saw it the other day. Me and Isla was messing around down there getting something out of the shop, and it's sitting in there. It's just gonna hang out. I'm gonna keep it out of the elements, and just keep it close, man.
Keep it close.
Yeah.
Next question coming from Higgy. With the next gen unveiled tomorrow, what's one thing you hope that this car does for drivers and competition?
Oh, good question.
Oh man. I'm really anxious to see what straightening up the rear tailpiece does. Where they move the tailpiece back to center of the car. If you look at Cup cars over the last probably 15 to 20 years, from the door number back on the right side, the quarter panels are straight, and it's because they moved the tailpiece over to make that quarter panel straight as possible to create as much side force on the car as possible, just like the trucks. The trucks are almost moved beyond straight, so the trucks kind of wing out on the right rear. And that's what the Cup guys have been trying to create for years. But with this new car, they've sort of centered the body back up to where the body really is mounted symmetrically, the way you might mount it for a road course. And so that's going to take away quite a bit of side force, I think, on the car, and how the car reacts in traffic will change. How the car runs against the wall will be a little different. May be subtle. It may be a major shift. But I'm looking forward to. I like that direction, like getting things back to stock, getting things back to symmetric measurements, getting things back to zero, and letting the drivers, have to drive the car and figure it out and be challenged. And so I don't know, that is really going to – the car can be amazing. It really can, and it's going to be determined by the aero package that it has on it, just like every other car that we've ever had in the series dating back as far as I can remember. The front splitter or valence, whatever ends up on the car over time, and the rear spoiler is going to depend, is going to, control the racing. That and the tire. The tire, what connects the car to the pavement? The tire is a very massive component and a huge responsibility as far as the visual race we see and whether we like it or don't like it. The tire plays a major role in that, how it reacts to the track, rubbers the track in, creates multiple grooves. So there's a massive responsibility for Goodyear to get that right, and for NASCAR to get the aero right. Yeah, I mean, this could be an amazing car, but it could get, if the arrow's not, if you don't nail the arrow, it could be bad.
Next question coming from Bubba Fett, watching live on YouTube. It is Star Wars Day.
May the 4th.
Do you have a favorite Star Wars movie?
I guess the original. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next question coming from Austin Hunter. Do you have any tips for someone getting into spotting?
No, spotting is I did that one time and I didn't like it. For everybody who wants to be a spotter, a buddy of mine was like, man, I'm running my late model car over at this racetrack. Come help me spot, or come spot for me. I'm like, oh, great. I'll come help you spot. That'd be fun. I was off that weekend. I think it was in between Xfinity races. So I go over to this little short track up the road, and my buddy goes out and he's racing. Green flag. He's on the outside of the front row. And he beats the guy on the inside for the first lap. And so we're going down the front straightaway, completing the first lap, and he's clear. And I told him going into the corner, I'm like, you're clear. And the guy dove in there and hit him in the left rear, run over, hit him in the left rear, jumped his left front tire, went over the hood, knocked the air cleaner off, and crashed, right? Tore the left side off of the car, the whole hood, nose, everything off of the car. And I'm like, I guess that was my fault.
You think?
So, for all you people that want to be spotters out there, I didn't realize that, what an insane responsibility you have. And plus, on the other side, when something doesn't go right, even though you had nothing to do with it, you're an easy target. Absolutely. Because, when I'd screw up in the car, I'd absolutely go blame TJ. I'd jump on the radio and do it publicly. And you get a little annoyed, and the first thing a driver's going to do is yell at you, Wake up! What are you doing up there?
Yeah.
Shut up! Too much information. So it's not glamorous. It's not, and you stand up, TJ's, and he's not exaggerating. You stand up on top of that, they put you up on top of the highest perch above the grandstands. You've got no shade. So in them sunny days, man, TJ and all of them got long sleeves on, 95, 100 degrees out, wearing long sleeves, covering their necks up and everything, trying not to get burnt. Miserable, and they have to be up there all day. And you want to spot a cup car, truck, Xfinity. You want to do it all to make all the money you can throughout the weekend, and you're going to be on top of that building. I would not want to do it. But anyhow, how do you get into spotting?
Most of them are drivers.
Yeah,
but we're drivers.
A lot of guys were drivers. Typically, a race car driver who's looking for a spotter likes to have a guy that's been behind the wheel, so he kind of understands what you want to know. But basically, it's I would say it's like anything else. Go to a local short track, walk around the pits, offer your services. Say give me a radio. I'll be glad to spot. Find somebody who's willing to take you up on that offer, and get to work.
Could iRacing be a tool to help with that as well?
iRacing is absolutely a great place to learn some spotting skills, for sure.
All right, guys. That's all for today.
All right, so that's some good questions. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Ask Junior, always a lot of fun. Appreciate Xfinity for supporting this particular part of the show. Bentley Warren is our guest on the podcast. Bentley is, in my opinion, one of the best race car drivers that nobody is not the right word, but most people have never heard of. He raced he won the Oswego Classic in 69 and kept winning for 3 decades. He went to Indy. He was amazing. And so I'm excited to get him in here and hear his story. It's going to be a fun conversation. Northeastern, super modified, just one of the best to ever do it. So he's going to have a lot of great stories. I hope you guys will listen to the podcast. Be out later this afternoon or later this evening. So thank you for your support, and you guys have a great week.